What's up, everybody? Nightwolf here, and we're back for another episode of Mechs of the Roundtable podcast with Megazord and Magnus Supreme. Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
Greetings.
Greetings and salutations. So, what we're going to be doing today, as I think we mentioned in the last podcast, which will be going up today, You'll learn later. We're going to talk about Ironblade Orphans episodes 2 and 3. So, does anybody have any thoughts to start off? I have a list of stuff I want to talk about, but
I have something I'd like to say.
Okay,
you go ahead.
All right. The reason I can't take Mikazuki or August seriously is because his face is like a variation of Sonic the Hedgehog.
You can't take him seriously?
I can't. Yeah, that's what I saw today. I looked, and that's what it reminds me of. His face reminds me of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh my goodness. So it's just like
mainly the eyes.
Yeah, the eyes are pretty big.
The composition.
Yeah.
This is some of the same character designer I think did the Black Butler anime, so
yeah,
that could be why.
Oh.
I don't know. I've only seen bits and pieces of Black Butler, and I'm really not that interested. It's one of those shows that it's just like, I already know what the demographic is for it, and I know it's not me, so I'm not even going to bother looking at it.
It's better than School Days.
Well, I'm sure it's better than a lot of things, but still. We will not talk about School Days. That's for somebody else's. That's a different podcast shtick. That's not ours.
That's for somebody who's into really, really disturbing things.
No, I was just
Indeed.
like, I just don't want to steal any jokes from Podtaku. At least try my best not to. Okay, so Mika looks like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes, I just wanted to get that out there.
Okay,
And that's all I have to say.
all right. Well, then we will. Okay, he looks like Sonic. Anybody like to comment about that? In the comments, please feel free. Does he look like Sonic to you? Let us know.
Okay.
What about you, Magnus?
My opinion is that Cookie and Cracker are like the most adorable little girls ever.
Right. Yes, they are.
Yes.
Yes, they're cute, adorable little kids.
That's the little sisters, right?
Yeah, for
Yes.
Biscuit. Yeah.
Biscuit, yeah.
And the one thing I was trying to figure out is the reason why they thought that other girl was like a murderer or something. They yelled at her. It's like, you murdered our brother or something. I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
why are you yelling at them? It's just a delivery truck. What was that?
Maybe it was because they were about to run him over.
That
It's like, you murderer!
I don't know. It was so,
Future tense.
yeah, it was so weird. That was the one
they
part.
might be related to the Gallahorn people. I think that's what it's called.
Gyllenhorn?
Yes, those guys. The people with the Germanic name.
Yes, the ones with all the fancy suits and look like they like to dress very pompously. And obviously they're the bad guys. Just like with Xeon and any other old Gundam show, all the bad guys dress in really fancy clothes.
The Republicans. No, I'm just kidding.
No, they're not. I don't think they're Republican or Democratic. They look more like they're, I don't know.
Totalitarian.
I think that might be closer. It's closer to like, well, for Xeon and whatnot, they looked a lot like, German soldiers from World War II. Their uniforms looked very German to some extent. Not to mention that they became a dictatorship eventually.
Well, that was the whole point of Xeon, was that they were supposed to emulate the Nazis.
Yep. Yeah, especially with the big promotional speech from, who was it? Giran?
Yep.
Yeah, Giran Sabi. complaining about it. It's like, oh, dare the Federation kill my brother. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, we could talk about Gyllenhorn. What did we think about it so far? What have we learned from them?
They're pro-killing children.
At least some of them are, apparently. Particularly the leader of the one group that we saw.
Not entirely sure if he's like their leader, or if
No.
he's just like a like their general, like, what is it? Their fleet admiral thing.
I think he was just the fleet commander. And they seem to be the ones that were planning the attack on Miss Bernstein, but they failed.
Because they don't want her to go to Earth.
No, they want her to die, but what was I thinking? But I noticed that the other two from Gyllenhorn, what were their names? The Shark Clone. I could still call him the Shark Clone. And his subordinate.
The two guys leading the ships. Oh, I don't have their names. I have the other guys written down.
No.
The one dude was named Crank.
Yeah. No, not the guys who were piloting the mobile suits, but the other ship that came to. They were inspecting the ship that Crank and his soldiers were from. And they obviously knew that something was going on. It's like, they seem awfully busy. It's like, obviously they're hiding something. Let's find out what they're doing. We didn't get any of that for episode 3. We got plenty of that for episode 2, but they haven't learned anything, really.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that when they do, it should be rather fun and interesting. I'm sure that something will happen.
I think in the next episode's going to be really interesting.
Should be. But
it hasn't been. I mean, the episodes 1, 2, and 3 have been awesome.
Yeah, so far everything's been running smoothly, with little to no complaints from us, anyway.
So, should we actually talk about the episode 2?
What did you want to talk about?
Well, my first point basically was. Oh wait, that's probably in episode 3 that they discussed it. I might have got the two confused when I was writing down this first part.
Yeah.
So I wrote about how Mika was chosen to pilot the Barbados because he has the 3 augmentations things.
Right. He had the surgery 3 times.
Somehow that like lessens the kickback, though not really. Seeing how much that Mika was bleeding. Yeah.
He was pretty damaged. Yeah, that was one of the things I was going to talk about, was the special, the Gundam's operating system and the nanomachine stuff that they put into these kids. And that's supposed to give spatial awareness by creating some sort of augmentation inside somebody's brain. Like, it's supposed to, like, create, like, I don't know, what would be the best analogy? I don't know.
A new type?
No, not that. Well, yes, partially that, but I was talking about, like, what was it? You get, like, a lobe in your brain that allows you to operate with this stuff. I think it's more or less like, I don't know, like having a tumor in your brain? Or something. That was what I was thinking. But
like a tumor that enhances your functionality.
Yeah, something like that. At least that's what it sounded like when they were talking.
Essentially, this is their new types, maybe.
Yeah, that's what it's sounding like. It sounds like this is their explanation for new types.
Unless we're actually going to have real...
Unless there will be something else entirely added later. But the fact that it gives spatial awareness and whatnot, that sounds pretty new typey to me.
Yeah.
Because almost every Gundam show has had it at some point. They have some format of a new type, or somebody who's really good at piloting a giant robot and has psychic powers.
Yeah.
Almost. It's almost like being psychic.
I know, and especially with the nose bleeding thing.
Yeah, it shows that it hurts.
Yeah, but like it's like most stuff that involves soul capabilities, it usually makes her nose bleed.
Yeah.
And I guess I
Besides
realized
seeing
why
a hot girl.
I guess I realized why all the like pilot characters are ripped, because you have to have something decent to look at when the main. We'll keep calling them CTS until we discuss episode 3.
Yeah.
They did change the name. Yeah, but don't wear shirts when they're piloting, because apparently that can get in the way, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I still want to wear a shirt when I'm in the cockpit of a.
I think we might be seeing some changes in that. They showed the ending. They show, and in the opening they show spacesuits and whatnot, or normal suits. I'm sure that'll change at some point.
Really, Laurent didn't get his spacesuit until like episode 40 of Returning Gundam.
Ah. Okay, well, yeah, and then the other thing I was going to talk about with the OS system, which sounded interesting, is that not everybody can have this augmentation done to them, from what it sounds like.
Yeah, like it's dangerous, and several died. And...
Whoa,
I
that's
think it
weird
just said
reverb.
they didn't say they died, they got crippled.
Yeah. Yeah, something like
They
that.
just didn't know if they were alive.
Yeah, it sounded like they were either in comatose or they might be dead, because Orga said that there had been 10 of them that had the procedure and only 6 survived.
And
the other 4
about that now.
You do.
I think like they went into comas, but really they kind of didn't. They were just chosen because they had exceptional abilities as a pilot already. So that they were instead of going to CGS, they were immediately drafted into Galahorn to pilot. Since they talked something about 77 different like, if they're doing the whole demonology that pilot the other Gundam type suits.
Yeah, because Barbatos is a demon name. Apparently,
type feel thing.
Maybe.
Or
I don't know. The way that Orga was talking, it sounded as if that they haven't seen them since, and he's assuming that they're dead. Because the procedure is very painful, and your chances of survival aren't very high. But the fact that Miku has it 3 times, or has had it 3 times in a row, that's says something about him. Does that mean he's unique or special? Or what does that mean?
That he is a masochistic sociopath.
Actually, that might not be far off. He sounds kind of like a masochistic sociopath. He seems that way because... What?
First. It wouldn't be a first. We've had a bunch of psychopathic Gundam pilots and a bunch of like... At least he's not just a brat this time. Because I've had that way too many times.
I don't know if I know that there have been psychopathic pilots, but a psychopathic main character pilot, I don't know if I've ever seen that before. I mean, Setsuna's awfully close, but he's more calm in demeanor than that. He's more relaxed. Well, he's relaxed, but he's also still has... He doesn't seem like he's totally without heart.
At least he's not like a jerk like a lot of like earlier Gundam protagonists were.
There are a few of them.
Like Amuro was kind of a jerk a bit.
That's why he got the Bright slap. That's why he got slapped by Bright, and he's just like,
Camille
shut
got
up.
slapped a lot more than any other Gundam pilot in history.
I'm sure he did, but he also fought back and punched people in the face.
Maybe Bright slaps make you a better new type.
Maybe that's the reason why they keep him around for so long.
Because Camille is supposed to be...
He's a good motivator. It's like, stop whining, get in the Gundam.
The social... Well, actually, that's episode 3. Are we talking about episode 3? Are we combining the two?
I think we can just combine the two overall. I mean, I have no real structure, because all of it is interesting in general. If they want it in like chronological order, go and watch the episodes yourself.
Yeah. Oh, and did you have like a progression of topics you want to talk about, or are we just kind of?
Well, I had a couple of things I was going to point
Mika,
out.
let's talk about Mika more. Get it over with.
Okay. Yeah, that's
okay.
that's
Sure.
You were about to say something about Mika being a sociopath in episode 3.
No, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty sociopathic.
But it was interesting when he was, spoiler alert, when he was gonna kill Crank,
Yeah.
and he hesitated for a moment, and I was like, oh, is he gonna have a moment of sympathy or something? And it wasn't at all. He was just curious.
He just wanted to know more.
Well, Crank asked him to kill him.
Yeah.
Well, there is that, but there was also
Crank was gonna die even if Mika let him go back to his base.
Yeah, he was going to die either way. They were going to kill him. But it was that whole thing of him not liking the answer that Crank gave him. He's like, I want to know why. This, that, A, B, C, and D. And when they first started that battle, he didn't like what the answer that was given to him. So he's just like, I want a more clear, concise answer. And then Crank's just like, okay, just kill me. He didn't even let Crank finish his sentence.
No, when he was like, thank you.
He's just like, thank. Bullet in the face. It's like,
And so easy. Just like when he killed the officer whenever they took over.
Oh, yeah. That was one of the points I wanted to talk about, was the betrayal of the First Corps. Yeah, that was funny. Well, not funny, actually. That wasn't funny.
It was kind of dark, actually.
Well, it's probably because he sees Orga as like this commander, and obviously, clearly doesn't want harm to come to him, and he doesn't really want harm to come to any of his friends. So he probably figured, this guy's gonna try to hurt us, so I gotta put this guy in the dirt before he can actually do anything against us.
Yeah.
Plus, these guys have been abusive to these children
for
years.
Yeah, that is true. For a minute, though, I don't know. Sometimes when I look at August and whatnot, I think he has, like, Stockholm Syndrome or something. He's been around Orga way too long, and Orga basically has him doing whatever he says.
Yeah, it was interesting that Orga even made him do it,
Yeah, Orga could have done it himself.
Exactly, but is he almost, I don't know, using him as, it doesn't really seem like he's using him as a pawn, but almost training him in a way. I mean, there seems to be an age gap, or at least
there is an age gap. There's a gap between their ages,
and he's a lot smaller.
Yeah,
Mika's a lot smaller.
I think Mika is younger though, but I don't remember his age. I think he's like 14, and I think Orga's like 17.
Oh, okay. But
Orga's clearly
Orga's
like the
training
oldest of the boys.
What?
Orga's clearly like the oldest of like everybody.
No, he's not the oldest, I don't think. I think the oldest is that bigger guy.
With the short spiky hair.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. But he refers...
He looks like the guy in Berserk.
Yeah, he looks like Guts.
Yeah. To me, I think everybody seems to respect Orga the most.
Yeah.
Because he didn't... he just said, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to overthrow everybody. And they're like, okay, you're like the commander now.
Yeah. Yeah, that was rather interesting, but it was funny what the big guy said. I guess we'll call him Guts for now, I guess, because he looks so much like him. Yeah. He said that they're like human debris and they don't really care what happened. He doesn't care who's in charge, whether it's them or if it's Orga. He didn't seem to care either way, just so long as, he has something to do, I guess.
Which is kind of funny because that's kind of the opening of Berserk.
It's like, I don't care.
Being a mercenary and everything, I don't care,
It's like, just give me something to stab or shoot at and I'm good.
Yeah.
It actually kind of reminds me of a character from Fire Emblem Awakening, actually. Because that's what Long Qua says. It's all like, you give the orders, I stab things. There isn't anything else more simpler than that. It's like, okay, sure. Okay, calm, cool, and collected. It's like, I don't care. Just point me in the direction and let me kill him.
But then again, these guys are all just mercenaries, basically.
Yeah, this company is all just mercenaries for hire.
Oh, true.
But,
I didn't even think of that, actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
as long as we're going to talk about the takeover, what was the name? Their new name is Tekadan, which can either translate to Iron Flower or Iron Fire.
Yeah. That was their... Yeah, it's Iron Flower, because that was the mistake that one of the other kids made, and it's like, no, Iron Flower, not Iron Fire.
Well, he's saying how the term works, because in Japanese it actually does mean both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I immediately, of course, thought of Tekken, which is Iron Fist, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't it? Yeah. And Tekkadan. That's pretty cool. Iron Flower.
Yeah. It's a good name for him.
Sounds like a really tough female.
And that also makes sense with like the closing.
Yeah.
On the second episode where that whole giant flower thing came.
Yeah, they've been showing that symbol for like on the backs of their jackets and whatnot. Of a red like insignia that looks a bit like a flower.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, but it kind of looks like a flower anyway.
We also got the second form of the Barbados. That is actually its official second form, with just the shoulder.
Oh, with the big shoulder armor on it.
Yeah, with that one green shoulder. Yeah, that's a second form.
Oh,
I think its third form is when it just gets that gauntlet thing off.
I don't know.
Its fourth form has the shoulders.
Yeah.
This is all according to the instructions of the model kit. Or scans of them.
Ah, I see. I haven't gotten my model kit yet. I'm waiting for it.
Don't have it. The only model kit I have out and not packed yet from a move is the petite guy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me think. What else could we talk about? Well, we found out more about Miss Bernstein, Claudia. That was interesting that she's the leader of an independence movement on Mars. I think we learned a little bit about that, but...
I thought that was declared in the first episode.
Yeah. But the one thing that I found out is the reason why Gyllenhaal wanted her dead is because it would create more turmoil on Mars and strengthen the hatred between Mars and Earth. So it seems like they're trying to instigate some sort of combat or a war when there isn't one at this point.
Yeah.
I like that at first, Cordelia's also like that, I want to do this so I can pilot the Gundam that nobody needs to get hurt but me. And then she's like, yeah, I just need to go be the delegate.
Yeah,
I
she
just
understood.
Yeah, it's like I just need to be myself on this one.
Yeah, she's like, okay, this is beyond me.
Yeah, it's like
Nobody has a crush on Mika.
Yeah, that was interesting. Already
Mika
me.
likes big pieces of zucchini in this
Yeah.
stuff.
He likes big vegetable pieces.
She does. And she was pleasantly surprised. Did the little I'm so embarrassed dance. Your
Yeah.
hands together by your face and wiggle back and forth.
It's like, please don't. Ah! It's like, well, I actually kind of enjoy that they've added little bits of comedy in it, because if it got too serious, it would be pretty depressing all the time. So having little breaks in there is okay.
And it's nice that she's not stupid.
No.
Like, she even realizes, like, with her dad that something's wrong there.
Yeah.
Even though she doesn't want to say it, she understands that there should be suspicion there on that part.
Yeah, she should be suspicious.
Yeah. And then, like, was just brought up her realizing, okay, well, I don't really need to be a pilot. I just need to do what I know and where I kind of have my place in this whole plan,
Right.
She understands it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That was good. Yeah. She understands her place in this world at this point, which is good.
Yeah.
It's good to know where you stand. And also it was funny that she actually hired the group to continue their objectives, so that was interesting because the kids were worried about money. It's like, how are we going to keep the company moving when we have no money?
Yeah. Two, because one of the biggest parts of war is the economy. So
yeah.
Kind of bringing that into the show, I really didn't expect that. I mean, I don't know if is that common in Gundam shows where they talk about the economical aspect.
No.
Not this much. Sometimes they do. I think they did sometimes for like bits of the original Mobile Suit Gundam, and I think they also did it for 8th MS Team too. Because the funds of both the Federation and Zeon were different. The Federation had certain amounts of resources and money. They had a lot of money for research and development, but not enough military strength. They were limited in strength, whereas the Zeon had more resources. They had a larger army of mobile suits because they cut costs by making them easier to build. While Federation spent all their time with like fancy research, like with beam saber weaponry and beam rifles and all the really fancy stuff. Stronger armor, better equipment. And not as many of them. They were limited. They barely had anything for the longest time.
The white base only had 3 mobile suits.
Yep, it had 3 mobile suits. It had the gun tank, the gun cannon, and the Gundam itself, as well as a couple of core fighters. And that was it. Of course, they were an experiment.
Then they got the G Defender.
Yeah, they did get that eventually. When they resupply and stuff, they got new equipment and weapons. I think at one point they even got 2 gun cannons opposed to having just one of them.
Yeah.
But
I think Hayato changed to working in the gun cannon at that point.
Yeah, he did. Both Kai and Hayato ran in that. What do I have left here on my list of things to talk about? Well, we have the duel against Crank, but the one thing that I wanted to say that was interesting is that before the Calamity War, which is, after the major war that happened and apparently devastated so much, duels were how they handled settling disputes, which I found rather interesting. Kind of certain vibe of, what is it? Like near Revolutionary War times or something around that.
Like the Old West stuff and...
Sort of.
Yeah.
I was thinking before. Yeah, I was actually thinking before that, like with, samurai would work. Also, like, guns at, the whole 10 paces turn and fire with a little, what is that gun called? One where you can only shoot once.
Revolver?
No, not a revolver.
Flintlock,
right? Pistol. That's it.
Say a Luger?
A Luger, yes. You use a Luger, you turn and fire, and then you wait and see what happens. Oh, the blood and chaos.
Right. Yeah, that was kind of cool, that old school thing. And it fit his character that he did that. Yeah,
it fit Crank pretty well because that was just like, he did not want to fight children.
Right. And it kind of matches with his standard.
Yeah.
He obviously had like a moral code, and doing the red flag thing seemed like that would be part of his code. Right. Yeah, that seemed to be a good thing, and it was kind of sad to see him die. Yeah.
So Crank is the Rambo
of Iron-Blooded Orphans?
Pretty much, except he didn't die so awesome. Except Rambo died like an awesome person.
He sacrificed himself, if I remember correctly, by blowing himself up.
He decided to commit suicide in the end because he didn't want to become a prisoner.
Yeah. But the royal family is always interesting. Actually, kind of reminds me, I actually managed to get some money on my PlayStation Network. I'll probably have to watch Gundam The Origin later. I'll rent that.
Oh, that's the other new one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that on Daisuke.
Yeah. Well,
You have
that's...
to pay for it.
Yeah,
it's
you
not
have to-
cheap.
You have to rent it.
Yeah.
For the PlayStation Network, for the first one, it's not too expensive. It's...
So is that like a little bit of a reboot, or?
Initially, that's what I thought it was, because the manga that it's based off of, called Gundam The Origin, is basically a reboot, just playing through the whole one-year war scenario again, with the only difference being that, slightly altered. But different things.
It could be a reboot. It could be a reboot. This seems to be just like setting up the main story of the original. Like, these first 2 episodes seem to be focusing on Artesia. I forgot what her name was in the actual anime. Sayla and Char.
Yeah.
Who,
This seems to be a prequel to
never get
me.
enough Char stuff.
To me, it's a prequel to me so far with the first 2 episodes, because they're going through Char's history before he became the Red Comet. So before he donned the mask and piloted a giant red Zaku and flew around really fast and made people look like chumps.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
So I am curious to watch that later, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But Megazord probably is having trouble even watching Gundam because he doesn't have any. Right now, Iron-Blooded Orphans is it.
That's it. I'm Gundam-less elsewise.
Well, the one thing I was going to tell you is that you can go to Gundam Info on YouTube, and they've got a whole series there.
They got build fighters.
Yeah, right now all they have is build fighters.
With the
They
hot
used
moms.
to.
With the one with the hot moms.
Yeah,
Yes.
the one with the hot mom.
They used to have 00 season 1. Oh wait, they do have Seed.
Yeah, they have Gundam
They do
Seed.
have a remaster of Seed,
Yeah.
which I don't know why Seed got remastered first.
Because people demanded it. Enough Japanese people demanded it, I guess. And if they say so, it goes. That's the one thing that I found, actually, that's rather funny. One of the guys that I've talked to who lives in the UK, he had a friend, and apparently, in Japan, if you say that you hate Gundam Seed or Seed Destiny, you are not a Gundam fan, apparently. Apparently, it's sacrilege to say otherwise. It's like, why would it be sacrilege if I said I didn't like it? Why? I don't understand that. That would be a bit weird. I mean, if you want to like it, please, go ahead, but why should I?
Yeah, interesting.
It's not like I'm going to wave a banner all over Japan saying, I hate Gundam Seed and you should too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is that the one where... Well, which was the one that you said kind of just fell through because of...
poor choices.
Yeah, poor choices, and then the health issues and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was Seed Destiny.
Oh, Seed Destiny. Okay.
Yeah. The original Seed
Destiny
didn't
is
have nearly as many problems. Destiny had a ton of... everybody knows the recycled animation. They had tons of recap episodes. Well, not that many. I can't even remember. Too many. And really just bad decisions. They changed the main character a quarter of the way through because of the writing constraints. They brought Kira back as basically the main character when it was supposed to be Shin. It's like, oh boy, here we go. All the crazy and zaniness that you could possibly want in an anime. All the failures. All the animation students right now in the world are probably like face-palming so hard, like, oh, why? This is terrible. This is not how you do things.
We also talk
What?
about how the Barbados's mace can fire like the projectile thing out of it.
Yeah, that did seem to be one of the things he could do. It looked like he could, stab somebody, or that
just shot out of there. Or something.
Yeah, it seemed like there was a longer, like a spike in the middle of the mace that could be projected out of it. Not really as a full projectile, but something that can be extended out and apparently run a mobile suit right through. One thing I want to know is how they're going to get to space. Where are they going to get the ship? Is it hidden somewhere? They can't buy it. They don't got the money to buy it. So I'm wondering, like, where are they going to get it? That's the one thing I'm waiting to see what happens. And I don't know, maybe we'll see part of that tomorrow when episode 4 comes out. But right now, it's like, what'll happen now? Oh. Now that I think about it, actually, Megazord, if you want, I can bring you Gundam. I have plenty of it in my house. I got a few seasons. I've got 00, and I got Wing. I got 8th MS Team, War in the Pocket.
Age needs to come out on English DVD.
Actually, I would not mind that, actually.
Because I watched it, I admit to watching it on anime streaming sites that I don't know if they're completely legit. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
Basically, if you combine the plot of the first Gundam, Zeta Gundam, and Double Zeta Gundam all together into one anime.
Yep. But a lot of people complained about pacing and whatnot for that one, but weird pacing. I didn't see the pacing nearly as weird as I did for like Reconquista and G or anything else that I've ever seen. Pacing for that seemed to be okay in comparison. I would say it's passable opposed to some of the crap I've seen, so.
Well, we don't really know if the Barbados in its current, form could even, move through space well.
We don't know yet.
Well, if it has gas.
If it has fuel, it can fly.
Which is weird that it's a Gundam that runs on gas.
Yeah, that blew me away, actually.
I thought some Gundams normally did run on fuel of some sort. Or they had some sort of reactor core.
Reactor powered, like nuclear powered now.
Oh, Austin, what happened?
Huh?
Oh, your mic sounded really weird there for a second. It scared me. It's like, I hear... Wow, 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 wow.
I thought that most Gundam mobile suits were powered by, a nuclear reactor.
I don't think they're all powered by nuclear reactors, but they're powered by some format of a reactor. I don't know.
I want to know what the heck the unicorn was powered by.
Psycho Frame? At least that's what I thought initially. It has a Psycho Frame.
Does Psycho Frame emit energy?
I don't know. It seems to.
I always thought unicorns were powered by rainbows.
Yes.
I need to get a unicorn model and paint it rainbow now.
Yes, I would love to see someone actually do that with the unicorn gun. It's like painted in rainbow colors. It looks really bad, but funny.
Oh, that's what I should do. I should get it, do a My Little Pony custom on it, just because. Why not? 'Cause
why not?
being weird because it's My Little Pony's being weird now.
I don't follow them. I have no idea.
I don't either. I know it's a big thing around the internet and whatnot. It's a bunch of grown-ass men saying it's the best cartoon ever. I'm like...
It's not.
Okay, sure. Okay, you keep telling yourself that.
Yeah.
It's a show tailored for young girls, but please, by all means, enjoy the hell out of it. I'd rather watch Transformers.
Something I thought was interesting with Barbados.
Yeah.
it was, I believe it's the second episode.
Probably.
That fight scene, he uses that mace very technically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when he dismembered the arm of that one, right?
Yeah.
And
the first graze, yeah.
but I mean, that was a pretty clean hit. And then again, when he rushed in from below and then attacked upwards, and it pretty much just knocked the armor off of the head.
Right.
But just really technical hits, as opposed to what we first saw it used was more like a mace.
Yeah, and we just assumed he would just be like just smashing things.
Yeah, I was
like a caveman.
Like, exactly. That's what I was expecting. Because it's a mace and it's huge. You have all this surface area to use.
Yeah.
Yet he really used it very technically. You know?
Yeah, I noticed that too. It was like, oh, hey, look at the technical prowess that he has. It's just flying around with that giant weapon like a crazy person, and just like, look at how skillfully he wields the thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty impressed.
Makes me wonder, what's it going to be like when he actually gets his giant katana thing?
He'll be even more amazing? I don't know. Some people I know complain it's like, oh, great, another katana, another Gundam with a katana. Why do we need that? It's like, because katanas are awesome. I guess certain people are all like...
traditional.
Some people are more interested in, I guess, beam weapons and whatnot. And so far, we haven't seen any beam weapons in this show.
Yeah. Beam technology might not be the universe. Or it could be that there's only like beam cannons on like ships.
Yeah. Maybe. I do not know. To be honest, I'm not sure. Well. Huh?
Oh. Well, okay, so the beam weapon. So what was that one? I guess it was a ballistic weapon then, that
the rifle?
The gun, yeah.
Yeah, the rifles seem to be ballistics.
Yeah.
They seem to be physical projectiles, like an impact rifle of some sort.
Yeah, at least there's a bunch of shells laying around all over the place, and beam weapons don't produce shells.
No, they won't. Not unless you're the Unicorn Gundam, because apparently it has a reloadable clip in its rifle.
Well, those are just like battery things.
Yeah, it's just a battery. Just makes it look like it has bullets.
Which means it doesn't take. Which means it has its own power source, so it doesn't take away from the actual
Gundam
Unicorn's power.
Yeah. Yep, that seems to be the case. Well, I think we've covered most of the 2 episodes. Is there anything else you guys like to add? Or do you feel you've covered all your bases?
Remember when cutting your vegetables to do a cat paw and not dog paw?
That what was that? I didn't get that. I mean, I guess keep the thumb tucked in. Is that so you don't chop it off?
Yes.
I could ask my brother. He is the chef, so I can ask him.
Yes, and you hold it.
Do you do the cat paw?
You hold it flat. You don't hold it down. And then you hold it against whatever you're cutting, not pushing the thing downward.
Right. Yeah, that seems to be the case, I guess. I don't know. I think I've seen when my brother has cut like vegetables and stuff. It looks pretty similar.
I have another note.
What's that?
Mars is apparently divided into 4 economics.
Yeah. Into 4 economic groups or 4 different economic areas.
Well, I'm not entirely sure. They said she said economic blocks, whatever that means.
Yeah. Probably means that there are 4 separate large cities, I'm guessing.
Also, Biscuit seems to be the main chef of the cast. And Mika can't read.
Mika can't read. He doesn't need to.
Wait, where did we get that?
The guy gave the old man tried to give him the manual to the Gundam,
Right.
and he just just gave it back. He's like, "No, I don't need it," because he can't really read.
In the second episode, when they were showing him getting into it and the things starting up, he's like, "What does this say?"
Yeah, he can't read.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, it seems as though he can't read, and then the old man couldn't even pronounce Barbatos's name. He was just Barbo what?
Barba, what?
And then when Mika, basically, I don't know, it's kind of like the Matrix when he jacked into it, I guess.
Right. Exactly.
He said the Gundam's name as Barbatos, which is interesting.
Acquired understanding.
Yes.
It's like,
Oh,
yes.
I still love
I
how
have
just
X
the suit itself.
Oh, that's interesting.
And fluidity. It looks a lot more like samurai armor instead of like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
Because that's what Gundam's designs are based off of. That's why a lot of them have katanas and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, there's only one Gundam that has a katana. Only one other I can think of, anyway, is the Red Frame Astray.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they're like, oh, God, we don't need, like, normal swords and stuff.
What's wrong with having a normal sword? Mobile suits have had... Other mobile suits have had those types of weapons. Like, they've had physical lances or some sort of physical weapon. I mean, the Zaku's run around with a Heat Hawk all the time. And that's not a beam weapon. That's just a axe that has some sort of, like, energy source that allows it to be heated up so that it can cut through metal. And that's it.
Yes, the H2 Sparrow used normal weapons, but
Yeah.
really, I don't think the G-Self used a beam saber or anything, really.
I don't know. The G Self did have a beam saber, I think.
Oh.
What?
So when Mika and Crank first
have their confrontation in episode 2.
Yeah.
And they're like doing the typical like right next to each other, and then their weapons are engaged to mace, and then they're kind of talking during it. I'm glad that didn't drag on too long.
Yeah, that would have been boring.
I don't know. Doesn't that seem to happen a lot in like anything involving weaponry? Like they get really close, and they talk to each other like, "Ah, yeah, this," and then
it's like
they don't really do this kind of stuff in Gundam series, which is why I like it, because it's.
They normally get right to it. They don't spend a lot of time talking.
Oh.
Normally, any and all formats of talking seem to happen during the combat itself. Like, if the pilots are talking to one another, they'll be, like, clashing swords or shooting at each other and whatnot, but they're always talking while doing it. Because they can multitask so well.
Yes.
They seem to be, like, the experts of multitasking. It's like, okay, we'll just do this. We'll fight, and we'll converse and talk about our ideology and all that sort of other crap. Let's just have a good old time about it.
Essentially, no. Except they're actually having dialogue.
Yeah, they are. They're having dialogue. They're normally literally sometimes it is about their ideologies or their conflicting thoughts. Whenever you see like Amuro and Char fighting later on in their lives, especially during the movie Char's Counterattack, they're talking about their own ideologies, is how Char thinks that the only way for humans to move forward and to progress is to basically eradicate Earth, because humans are dragged down by Earth's gravity, is how he puts it. And then for Amuro, it's like you know, saving everybody is something that's important, or something I can't really remember what he had to say. But basically, he's treated like, like a big brother or like a father figure, and that he can't be that for everybody. This is one of the things that he was always fighting or dealing with during that movie. It's like, I can't take care of everybody all at once. I can't be their dad.
I understand that feeling.
Yeah.
I can't date you, what's your face, except I forgot her name. The
Cool.
one that...
The one who tried to liked Amuro and wanted to be with him?
Yes, and
Quest.
then Sean got in the way, and then she's like, okay.
It was
Since-
Quest.
Since Amuro doesn't like me, I'm gonna go with Char and be a little rebel. And then I'm gonna jump out into space without a helmet on.
Char, and the funny thing is that Char was already in a relationship too. It's like, you do realize that Char also has a girlfriend, right? You know.
And Char's like at least in his 30s at this point.
Yeah. He seemed to be okay with it, and doesn't seem to have any issues. He likes he always has enjoyed manipulating certain people. He was like, "Oh, hey, let's do this whole thing with Lala again. We're gonna go through the Lala situation multiple times." He's already seen it twice by that point. You know, people who love each other and then end up, killing each other in the midst of battle. It's like, yeah, sure, let's relive it again, Char. You seem to really get into that. I don't know why. Because he's weird.
Yes.
How much time do we have left?
Like 20 minutes?
Yeah, about 20.
We got about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, I have a little thing here about Gundam video games.
Okay.
And I want to know, like, how many of these games you've probably played, or if there's, or anything of that nature. Because yeah.
Yes. I actually have something old.
Old? Go for old.
I think I told you about it.
Yeah.
And I looked it up yesterday. It was the 2D fighter
Oh yeah.
release.
Oh, what is it called?
Endless
Gundam
Duel.
Endless Duel. Oh wait, yeah, that's even older.
Yeah.
I was thinking like Gundam Battle
Looks like a
Assault.
video game?
Yeah. Yeah, it was for the Super Famicom,
Yeah, it was Japanese.
And there's actually, well, I mean, you can buy the original if you want on Amazon for $150,
Ouch.
or you can find someone who actually translated it
Yeah.
as a ROM. Can I say that?
Yes.
I can say that. And you can find that online if you just search it.
Right.
And then run through like ZSNES or something that runs it pretty fast.
Yeah.
And it's actually really good. It's kind of, I mean, if you're familiar with Street Fighter type
Yeah.
controls, it pretty much plays like that, and the graphics are amazing. Just for its time, it's super smooth. Combos are easy to pull off for the most part, and each character is pretty unique.
Yeah.
So
I think I've seen it, but I haven't played it before. My first Gundam game I ever played was Gundam Battle Assault, which I think was the thing that came after what you were talking about, the Endless Duel.
Oh.
Because it came out for the PlayStation 1. It was actually translated into English. They had that one and a sequel. I think I mentioned it to you once, and
what type of game is it?
it's the same as the game that you're talking about.
Oh,
It's a 2D, verse fighting type game where you punch each other with giant robots.
We need a Gundam versus Zoids game.
What do you mean?
Like a literal like Gundam Extreme versus, but you can also have Zoids in there too.
So you want a crossover? Is that it?
Yes.
You want a crossover with Zoids and Gundam?
Yes.
I don't know. Would that even be possible?
I don't know. Some of the Zoids games were fun.
I haven't had any opportunity to play any of them. I think I may have played one once for like a couple days because I rented it, and then I was like, okay, I'm done. It must not have left a lasting impression because I can't remember anything.
The most recent Gundam game I played was SDGO before the game went down.
Which one is that? The
Super Deformed Gundam Online.
Oh yeah, with
Capsule Fighters one.
Yeah.
That was actually fun.
The servers went down?
Yeah, the game they shut down the game worldwide, I think.
Oh, that's terrible. Why would you do that? You're going to make all of us for that sad.
I had a build fighter suit, like it was awesome. I had the Quilby Papalion thing. That thing was. By the way, there's nothing scarier in that game than being attacked by funnels for the first time, because all you see is little lines shooting at you for like a minute, and then you just die.
Oh, I enjoy using funnels in some of these games, but having to fight someone who uses them, on the other hand, not very fun. Especially if you're playing like Gundam Extreme Versus. Because I played that earlier this week with a friend, and it's like, oh, well, you're going to use the cubulate. Fantastic. I know what I'm in for. Funnels!
This is why we used the Sozobi with its own funnels.
I didn't use the Sozobi. I actually beat him.
You gotta give me a quick rundown of this funnel thing. What's this funnel?
It started with, what was it? For Char's counterattack. Mobile suits with
say we're in the first series. I mean,
oh wait, oh yeah, you're right. It happened in Zeta Gundam first. I'm sorry.
Or were they bits in?
I don't know what they were called.
What the difference is?
But he's asking for an explanation as what they are, not what their names are.
They're basically like these. If you're like a new type or whatever the new type is, you basically control these things with your mind that shoot beam things, and they're like little rocket propelled doodads that have guns on them, or sometimes they're blades.
They can also be used as shields,
or they can be shields.
Yeah, Amuros can anyway.
No, I mean, your shield can be a funnel with Gatling guns on top of it.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
The full armor unicorns. 4 of those. That's
yeah.
4 shields.
It's like, why would you need 4 shields? What would be the point of having 4?
Survive.
Well, that's the entire.
Have you seen 300? All those shields.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that's what a funnel is basically. It's like a beam weapon that can be controlled with somebody's brain.
That's scary.
It can be used. It's a good way to protect the pilot from enemies that might attack from behind, because they can use the funnels to attack in all directions. It's
cool.
It's pretty cool to see it happen, especially when you're watching like either Char and Amro using it, or what is that? The Kshatriya using it in Gundam Unicorn, because it had a lot of them.
Did the Shenanju have
Shenanju does not have funnels because it is not a mobile suit designed for new types.
Wait, Full Frontal wasn't a new type?
No, he is
He
not.
was a clone of Char.
Is a clone of Char, but he's not an actual clone. Doesn't have his genetic code.
Oh.
He's a ghost. He's not real. I can attest to that because I played Dynasty Warrior Gundam 3, and when you have him as a character, it does not say he is a new type, because all the new types are labeled ahead of time. He can only gain the ability by completing a certain mission with, I guess, everybody. Then everybody can become a new type. But he's not a new type himself. He's normal. He's just a guy. An incredibly skilled pilot. Apparently. Though one of my friends does say that he's Char. He's like, convinced that it is Char. It's like, I don't think so. Because Char and Amuro are dead. What the heck? Stop eating the pizza.
Was it pizza?
No, it was potato chips from like an hour ago.
Oh.
Or more.
The one thing that I would like to see happen is I want to see more Gundam games come out to the States.
Mm-hmm.
True. I mean, you'd think they would, because I mean, I remember when, like, Mech Warrior, that was really big, and I mean, I liked it. I mean, I think it was pretty popular. You know?
It was. Well,
I think that the Gundam games would be equally as popular.
Yeah, well,
A
when
bunch of things have been getting into, like, coming out now. I mean, we just got LBX in the States. Which is kind of like Gundam. If that pops up, maybe we can actually get Gundam.
Yeah. Well, there seems to be an increase in demand for Japanese-related games in the last few years. There was a drought for, like, a lot of the JRPGs that were coming out weren't coming out in the States, but now, considering they know the companies know better, they've been releasing them out again. But
again, it's probably just Bandai Namco's fault.
Probably.
They're like, oh, we can't charge super amounts of money because...
Well, it doesn't stop them from releasing, like, Dragon Ball Z games and whatnot. Or anything else that they have. It's like, why not? You can release Gundam for cheap. It doesn't cost nearly that much to translate as it used to. It used to also be a lot harder to do that, but nowadays it's easier than ever. Yeah. And considering that there are people playing games all over the world, you have to have the option to have multiple language choices so that they can understand it.
Look at how Nintendo does Pokemon now. They did all of the world simultaneous releases.
Yeah, that's true. They did.
Simultaneously.
Yeah. Why is there so much static today? What is going on?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, oh, you're getting it too, so it isn't just me.
Oh, I am? Oh.
No, I meant you're hearing it too.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I don't know what's going on then. That is really weird.
Yes.
But I want to see more Gundam games come out. I have three Gundam games that are Japanese only, or well, you can get them in other countries too, like China. But they have no English subtitles at all. Oh wait, no, actually I have 4 if you include the Gundam Battle Operation game, which is a free game. It's like, would it kill you to add an English language to that?
Oh.
They didn't do in the new, what was it? Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah, Dynasty Warrior Gundam Reborn almost didn't get a
English release.
Yeah, it almost didn't. It did. But for the United States, the only ones that the United States got was the digital version. Where the UK got a physical edition. It's like, why?
Really, your Blu-ray code isn't even different for
No.
the PS3 you're in Japan. Just
everybody
slap the
should.
subtitles on and ship it to the US. It's not that difficult. It's why I don't see it. Why I don't have the. It's why I don't have the Phoenix Wright game. It's why I don't have the new Phoenix Wright game, because it never got released physically. I prefer physical copies.
Yeah, I'm kind of a stickler for physical copies too, because with the memory of a system and whatnot, you're limited to how much you can put on it, and then eventually, after like having multiple games digitally, you're gonna run out of room.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's been the problem with my PlayStation 3. It's like, oh hey, I have all these games that I got, for.
Plus, especially with DS games. You want to know what I do with DS games? I collect DS game cases.
Yeah.
It's what I do with my game cases. I put them away and
I
like to keep them.
Yeah, I keep most of mine too if they have a physical case. Some of them don't because, they were either lost or they never had them to begin with when I bought them. But yeah, I prefer physical over digital. I know digital is the wave of the future, but still doesn't mean I have to go along with it.
It's nice to have that physical copy.
Yeah.
Just because.
Yeah.
It's nice to have something like, or at least even having it cloud-based in case you ever lose it, but
yeah.
I don't know, having the physical is nice.
I think one of the problems I think with digital is that the companies can maintain full control over it, actually. Exactly. They can decide to, basically close it down and remove it from the store, and then you wasted your money buying it digitally. And now you don't have it anymore. Now you have to go out and find a physical copy to play the game again. Yeah. If it even has a physical copy. So it's like, what's the point of having it digitally if the companies can just shut it down whenever they feel like it?
Yeah. But then there's another reason is the, people making copies and...
Well, yeah, the pirating and whatnot. Yeah. I know that's what they're trying to avoid, but to be honest... I don't think there's any way that they can avoid pirating.
True.
They're wasting...
It's gonna happen.
Someone's gonna find a way to do it anyway, so why are you wasting your time trying to fight it anyway?
Right.
You're wasting our time, you're wasting the time of the consumers, you're wasting your own time trying to stop it, because somebody out there with enough time, energy, and resources is going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
You cannot avoid it. No matter what you try and do.
Yeah.
There's going to be pirated stuff, so there's nothing they can do about it in this day and age. There's too many people with free time on their hands to do it.
Yeah.
You have to give the people incentives to want to buy your product. You have to, basically make a good product so nobody wants to pirate it. They want to support you. They want to spend their money on it. Is that so bad?
Right.
Is that so wrong?
Gundam games are pretty... Well, I don't know. I haven't played any of the modern ones, but, they're very multiplayer based, aren't they?
Some of them are, and some of them have been, in the past, especially, during PlayStation 2 era and whatnot, they weren't very good, because Bandai was constantly switching who developed the games and whatnot, so they weren't building... strong engines to use all the time. The one that I did play for the PlayStation 2 that is probably the best one was Mobile Suit Gundam Federation vs. Zeon. That one was pretty well loved in Japan because it was an arcade cabinet style game. But then they also released, physical copies or console versions, and they work really well. It's by far not perfect, but still pretty darn good.
Bring those Gundam pods to the US. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
You pay for it and you put money on it, and then you get this card.
Yeah.
That keeps your save data on it and stuff.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of.
Scan it in.
Reminds me of what was it? The GameCube F-Zero game.
Yeah.
If you had a memory card with your save data and whatnot, you could take it to the arcade where the F-Zero cabinet was, and you could play with your saved ships.
Yeah, but it wasn't the 360 cockpit. That's awesome to me.
Well, yeah, the F-Zero cockpit that I tried at one of the arcades, yeah, that was a full 360 experience. Well, not full 360, but the cockpit moved up and down, side to side, and made me woozy.
Oh.
Because F-Zero is already trippy enough. It's oh yeah, I really need extra,
right.
extra movement. Yeah, the thing's trippy enough with all the lights and the pretty colors and the loops. I don't need the cabinet moving too. I don't need that. Especially not when you have a full stomach. It's terrible. It's okay, I'm uncomfortable and queasy. Thanks.
I think, though, that, especially because that's what's really unique about the mobile game, the Mobile Suit idea, is that you're in a cockpit.
Yeah.
You have these special controls. I mean, I think that could really help popularize Gundam over here, or even like, well, is that thing even still in production? The what was that called? The 3D thing that you wear. They were trying to bring
the
3D
Oculus.
Yeah, is that still?
It's still a thing.
It is.
Not very
Okay.
many people are using it.
For that would be awesome.
Yeah, having a
I think
cockpit
that'd be
through
a
the
great way
Oculus
to-
would be
To
interesting.
bring it back, you know, and or at least bring Gundam more mainstream.
Yeah, somebody needs. Well, I remembered there was a movement going on for a Digimon game that was coming out, or that had already came out in Japan, and now it's coming to the
Oh,
States.
the new Digimon World game. That one looked awesome.
Yeah, Digimon Cyber Sleuth. But
That
a bunch of fans actually created a movement or a group of people, and it's like, hey, support this. Let's let the companies, let Namco Bandai and everybody know that we want this here in the States. And with enough time, they actually built up a strong enough movement to actually make it happen. I really wish it was something that I thought of trying to do, but I have no idea where to even start to do
Speaking of which, just got in the Kalos region.
What?
Ash just got
kinda
the
build up there.
7th ship edge in the Kalos region. In the Pokemon anime.
Yeah. It's supposed to be.
And he hasn't lost like once in this series, so.
Oh, that's good for
He
him.
killed him all Triss.
Okay. We're running out of time, aren't we? We're out of time. I think.
Actually,
Yeah, you have to go, don't you?
yeah, I do.
Yeah, we're just rambling anyways.
Yeah, we were rambling at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay, everybody. Thanks so much for watching this podcast. It's a little shorter than normal, but we hope you enjoyed it. Please leave us a like and a comment. Let us know anything at all.
And if you're still planning to murder us from the last podcast, alright.
Yeah, well, we will see if flame wars erupt in my comment section or something when I post that video later today.
Alrighty.
But anyway, thanks, guys. See you later.
See ya.
See ya.